Welcome to So You Want to Be a Geek, the podcast where we dive into the vibrant and ever-evolving world of geek culture. Whether you're a seasoned fan or just curious about what makes being a geek so special, join us as we explore everything from comics to movies, gaming, tech, sports, and everything in between. Each episode will bring you insights, interviews, and the latest news to fuel your passion and expand your horizons. So grab your favorite fandom and let's embark on this geeky adventure together. I'm Michael Canetti, and this is So You Want to Be a Geek.
Hey geeks, guess what? We're back with another installment of So You Want to Be a Geek. And this time, we're getting geeky about vintage video games. This is something that I have been fascinated with for quite some time, and I have an expert in vintage video games. Dominic is here with me, and he's here hanging out. We've got so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So do you kind of remember the first time you said to yourself, hey, I want to go buy an NES or a Super Nintendo? Like, what was that like? Oh, I want to go find this console.
I think the first time I wanted to get into, like I said, Genesis was like the first real. I played NES, like my cousins had NES, but one of my friends in higigh school had given me his old Super Nintendo. So this is going 2006, so Super Nintendo has already been gone for 10 years at least. He's just we're getting rid of this. So he gave me his old Super Nintendo, and he gave me, I think it was Super Mario RPG or something along those lines with it. And I had never really played Super Nintendo. So I remember going to garage sales and seeing if I could find anything that was a Super Nintendo game. And from there, I kind of also found other stuff from that. But I remember just getting the Super Nintendo, hooking it up and playing Super Mario RPG. And I was like, this is still a really, really good game. By 2006, what was out? PlayStation 2. I think PlayStation 3 was just
nearly coming out.
Yeah. And I still these graphics are still really, they're detailed. They're it's not realistic at all, but it's it's aesthetically pleasing. It's stylized. It's its own thing. So I really, Super Nintendo was I never had it. So I was when I went back to that, that was really a Kickstarter for me to explore other consoles. So I think from there I really got into the Mario games and things like that, Super Mario World and Super Mario Kart and things like that. But just I think that you were saying, the tactile feel, I think that has a really good feeling of putting in the cartridge. Just very a heavy clunk, and especially the eject button, it just pops out. So it's got a good feeling to it.
It is kind of satisfying. And I grew up, I had an Atari as my first thing.
Okay.
And then I had a Nintendo, and then I went from Nintendo to Sega Genesis.
Okay.
And I never really had a Super Nintendo. And then I'd go to my friend's house who have it, and I'd be like, wow, this is fantastic. Or we're was GoldenEye on Super Nintendo?
GoldenEye was N64. So that was
yeah. And I never had an N64 either. And I'd go and I'd play that game. And I'm like, wow, this game is fantastic. There was just something about it. You kind of touched on a little bit as what are some of the challenges with getting these vintage games, because even GameStop doesn't really carry them anymore, and there's not those Funko Land places anymore. It's really going to be either eBay, whatnot, or a garage sale. I need to go searching for these things.
So luckily, I think that the community is pretty good, at a good place right now, I think, because especially here on Long Island, every summer they have this game expo in Garden City at the Cradle of Aviation, and it's very big. They have so many vendors selling games and stuff like that. I love going. I go every year. It's been getting bigger and bigger, and there are some game stores out there.
There's a store in vintage games. It's kind of marketed as a comic book store, but it's really a vintage game store, and they have a bunch of console systems there and tons of games. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. It's Beyond the something, I don't know. But it's not too far from here actually, and it's a pretty cool place. It's a cool store. It's kind of designed Saved by the Bell.
Oh, RetroSource. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes.
RetroSource. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been there. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome store.
They got a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff, which is pretty neat. And you can find some weird stuff, but there's a difference between going to a store and buying it versus finding it out in the wild.
Sure.
There's a different vibe to that. It's wow, what can I get this? I can get this game for $5 at a garage sale. It's that's kind of cool. Do you have any kind of interesting stories of a game that you found somewhere that you were just like, wow, I can't believe this is out there, and then someone was selling it?
Yeah, I do actually. I think so. I'll pick it up.
Sure.
Just because it's an NES game.
Mhm.
It's called Super Russian Roulette. So it's like somebody made this, and like I think it came out maybe in 2016, 17.
Really?
So like they made an NES game, and it's really, really funny. So like if you want to check out the box, all you're doing is the NES zapper gun, like they use with Duck Hunt.
Oh yeah, I have one.
So all it is like there's a cowboy on the screen, and like you're playing a game of Russian roulette with him. And so like you hold the zapper, and like you hold it up to your head, and like you click the zapper, and on screen it'll like make a click, or it'll like show like a skull and bones, and like you'll die. But like all the while the cowboy is like berating you, and he's like, you can like pretend to shoot at him and he'll get mad and like shoot you. And it's just like, it's really inventive. And like one guy made it. He just like made it, and it's just like a really cool thing that like you would never expect to see on an NES. But like those are the things that surprise me these days, is like people's ingenuity to like,
oh my goodness,
single-handedly craft a game and like release it,
like soldering a game together to like, or a console together to like convert the controllers to like USB-C. Because the pins don't work anymore, or whatever. They want to add like an expansion drive into a PlayStation. And you're just like, how do these people figure this stuff out? And
I don't know.
And they make money on YouTube just making these videos of deconstructing a Nintendo and how to like mod it somehow, and it's wild.
Those are extremely helpful. I tip my hat to those people, because they've like this Game Boy, like people are like replacing screens. So like I'm not really technical like that, but like they make it easy enough that I was able to replace the screen, and now it's like a backlit screen. So it's like those older Game Boys, it's like hard to see in the sun, the reflections, but like now you can put backlit screens in things. So like
funny. What advice do you have for anybody who wants to try to get into going back and collecting vintage games and consoles and stuff like that?
My advice would probably be, I think it would be good to start with like an emulator, or they have, because those make it a little easier. Because I would say that if you find that you really love it and enjoy those games, then I would say go out and like grab a copy of it, grab like a CRT with it, grab the original console, and go from there, rather than to like dump money into something that you're not really sure about yet. Like you can get an emulator for any, you could get it on your phone. There's like a emulator called Delta, just like right on your phone, you just download some games and check it out. It's cool. But then like, if you really, really like it, I would say like, then start collecting the games you really like. I would not ever recommend anyone to like go buy these expensive games because they're expensive. That's not the point. Yeah, it's not the point.
Yeah, that's fun. Because you need to find a CRT monitor too, which is getting harder and harder to find. But they're out there. We shot a movie 2 years ago. We had to go find a CRT monitor. The movie was based in like the late 90s, and we had to find one, and like I had to go to like an estate sale of some and I loaded it in my car and drove it into the set.
They're heavy too.
They are heavy.
They're really heavy.
You forget how heavy those things are.
But that's something that also like enhances the experience, I think, when you're playing like an old game on an old TV, and it like going back to like the not playing on a new screen, because like some of the effects are lost playing them on a new screen. And like they look crummy, especially like N64 and PlayStation games. They look not great on a
HD TV or a 4K television.
Yeah, like on a CRT, it kind of like smooths out some of the roughness of it, so it kind of is more appealing. You just have to like find the proper way to like connect them too. You get the red, yellow, white cables. Those are not the optimal way to connect it, but if you dig deep, you figure these things out.
They're on YouTube, and as always, thank you all so much for tuning in. You can follow us on our social media on TikTok and Instagram at SYDBAG, that's Switbag. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel, subscribe on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, and go to our TeePublic store and get out some merch. Until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of So You Want to Be a Geek. We'd like to thank the Geekster Media Network. I'm Michael Canetti. I'm your host, producer, and editor. We hope you enjoyed the journey into geekdom as much as we did. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok @Switbag for updates, behind the scenes content, and more geeky goodness. Have a topic you'd like us to discuss or a guest you'd like to hear from? Let us know. So you want to be a geek @gmail.com and stay up to date and join the conversation. Until next time, keep embracing that inner geek and remember, the adventure never ends.